Hi. Is that Sammy?
This is.
Oh, there we go. Had a couple other pups come by for training. Hi. Good job. Thanks. Oh, good job. I'm TJ.
TJ, Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi.
Yeah.
There's the jumping. There's the jumping. Yeah, you excited? Lots of energy. Normal puppy. Good. Okay. Is Hillary joining us?
No, she's getting ready to leave for a business trip.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, it's a good thing we're making the video for. Just going over and reviewing some of the email. Most of the things sounds very much so like normal puppy behavior to work on, like the excited jumping and things like that, and the biting. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so excited. Does she have any siblings to play with at home?
No, we got her from the SPCA.
Okay.
And she was one of 16 from a litter.
Oh. It's a big litter.
She grew up, and I guess they ended up splitting the litter just because mom couldn't keep up with the feeding.
Oh.
So she was with 3 other of her siblings for the first 8 weeks.
Okay.
And pretty much it's been her and us.
Okay.
Well, she's got plenty of other critters to chase after.
So as far as the jumping goes, it's just going to be a part of the basic obedience and training that we'll give her outside of also just some socializing, so that way she's not nearly as excited when she meets somebody and she's able to control herself. So really getting her out and about and greeting other people and other dogs properly, so that way you get the practice that she needs. Because it's one thing to be at home or in a neighborhood when we're like doing practice drills and it's nice and quiet, and asking her to sit or stay down, and then it's a whole nother thing when, you know, there's a new stranger or a new dog that comes by and she gets excited again and then needs to work on that. So just getting her a lot of real world practice in those situations helps out a lot, as well as just some name recognition and getting her to be able to kind of refocus on us.
She wants to do good. You can kind of see it in her. She's like, you know, really hesitant about stuff, but she's just pretty typical puppy. This is her energy level about 80% of the day.
Yeah, makes about sense. And then she's napping the rest of the time. So we'll do one little exercise here. We'll do a couple different things, but the first one will be just kind of when she's not paying attention and she's ahead of you like now. Go ahead and just call her name once. Don't pull on her leash or anything, and we want to see how reactive she'll be to responding to her name.
Sammy. Sammy.
Good. The only problem is you said it twice, right? It's a lot of human habits that we get sometimes, because we're very auditory beings and they're very like nose driven, like sight driven. We kind of use sound and those verbal commands to kind of bridge the gap a little bit. Sometimes it's not always connected. Hi, how you doing? Perfect. So now go ahead and say her name once. So now go ahead and say her name once.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. And then let her reset again. Move over this way.
Sammy.
Okay. Right. So it kind of makes sense if we can't get her attention, we can't really give her any commands or guidance. When we're kind of in that neutral state, when there's nothing going on and we're just talking about this even before she gets excited with meeting somebody new or another dog. We have to definitely, it's almost like math, man. You have to kind of build prerequisite steps first in hopes of being able to get to the higher degrees. And so if you have problems just getting her attention with her name on like a very neutral ground, then it's going to be almost impossible to get her attention with her name when she's already up and excited. So I'll go ahead and hold the leash this time, and we'll try one more time. Let her kind of get different smells, have different things, stuff around. Wait a little bit. Go ahead and call her name.
Sammy.
Right? So no perk with the ears, no lift back or anything. You're definitely going to need to start to really teach her a positive name recognition and association. Get it to the point with the twitch response. And then we're able to kind of start giving her guidance or other commands. A lot of times what our parents will end up doing, is just trying to give a command without even getting their attention yet. You know, you're like, Sammy, off, down, come, sit, and they're just full on still jumping at the person, right? So that's going to be part of the problem, is we have to kind of teach you guys as well to focus on priorities, right? So like, if you really want her to, not jump or come back to you, we really have to focus on getting her attention first, and then making sure she understands the command, and then making sure she actually can execute that command when she's excited. So it's a lot. Luckily, she's still young, and so a lot of it.
Get her in early before she develops bad habits.
I'm sure that's already kind of happened here, right? So like, Sammy. Right, nothing. So if we didn't have control of the leash, it was going through there, that's another just kind of safety risk, right? If she doesn't know her name. Like, not only could it be inconvenient for people, or if somebody had allergies, right, she could get herself in a lot of actual trouble. So very curious, moving things, a little on the skittish side, very energetic. The second thing was going to be, for mostly pertaining to emails, is just the shoes. And it's always easier said than done. And it's always easier said than done, just because, unlike us, some of them are good about associating certain things, some of them aren't. I had one lady before where just because we taught her to leave a pair of shoes, it doesn't mean that she'll leave all of her different shoes, especially with her. There was like sandals, heels, loafers, boots, like there's a lot, right? So
I mean, end of
really,
the day, if the worst happens, you grab the shoe on her way in the door. Our big concern is like, my in-laws are living with us, and they're in their 70s. So her getting bigger and jumping
right,
cost harm. So we're worried about that.
Gotcha.
Just like, right now it just feels supervised like 24/7 on the side of her crate.
Just like with any baby.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically we have 2 toddlers in the house.
And that'll come with time. A good way to kind of think of it, and it kind of goes back to the shoe situation, is not presenting the opportunity unless you're ready to work on it, and also unless they've shown the discipline to do what you want. And what I mean by that is, the easiest thing, of course, to do is to tell every human to just put their shoes away in the walk-in closet as soon as they enter, right? That alleviates the whole problem, because they don't have an opportunity to get it. But that's also avoiding a problem, right? And we only want to avoid issues while we work on them, because there's always going to be some point in our lives when we can't avoid a problem. And if we never worked on solving any issues, and we just constantly tried to avoid them with dogs, it wouldn't work out as well. But it's important to pick and choose when you're trying to teach them something. So kind of putting away the temptations unless you're actually putting them out there to teach her to not access them. We'll do a couple of examples, you know, during our exercises of teaching her to leave it, which entails her taking off the attention, and this is good for puppies overall, but her taking off the attention of whatever it is that she has it on and redirecting back to us. And then I also like to add in recall, because a lot of times if they just leave it and look back to us, but they don't move and the item is still right there, 9 times out of 10 they'll just kind of ping pong right back into it. So adding that recall part at the end really helps as well to make space. And then that's where if they start going up to it again, you are more in control of the situation. So now you're like definitely in, good job, in like practice mode, right? And you know what they're going to be interested in. You're there to help guide them and teach them on what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And luckily that goes over really well a lot of times with most puppy behaviors. You know, a lot of times, especially with pups, they'll want to eat random things on the ground, so you get a lot of practice with leave it in general. And then you kind of introduce them to things in the home, and I was working with this with a family that you purposefully want them to leave, right? So, you know, kids' shoes. You know, take a pair of the smaller ones' shoes out of the closet, put it in the middle of the living room, be there to supervise her when she goes over to smell it and investigate, ask her to leave it, redirect her, give her another toy, and, you know, teach her that way. Then when she has the choice between eating cigarette butts, then when we have the choice between choosing the toy that she can play with and have fun with and then the shoe, you can actually see her make the choice on her own, and that's when you'll start knowing that it's okay to, you know, to leave things out. A good way to think about it, especially if you have kids, is to treat her more like one. A lot of times we give pups, just because they grow up faster, more responsibility than we should. It'd be the same as like letting the little one just kind of crawl around all over the place and then yell at her for getting behind the TV and chewing on the cables. You know, we don't do that, but we do that with dogs for some reason, even when they're puppies. So what I've done before, and I'll see if we need to do it with her, just depending on how inquisitive or exploratory she is, creating like a playpen area, so that way she can have her own kind of safe space like you do with kids while you're not able to supervise her, because you have the baby to look after, you got the grandparents to help out with things, you have dinner to cook, but then that way you can put good things in that area that she can have access to and play with. And then in your time when you can actually dedicate to her, then you put like the TV remote in there, you know, things like that. So that really helps, not only to prevent further problems down the road, but like you were trying to do, is to avoid developing bad habits. So name recognition, leave it. The jumping with the parents and everything will definitely cover that. The main way we generally work with, especially puppies, and a lot of dogs in general, is through positive reinforcement training and conditioning. Seeing first if they actually understand the command that we're trying to give them, and then if they don't, try to break it down for them, practice it with them so that way they get it, and then going out in the real world scenarios and getting that good practice in. So that way when they hear that sound that we mean off or down or sit, it actually clicks to their head and they're actually able to do it easily, instead of, you know, because of their excitement or because they're not sure what that sound means to do.
Our last dog, he had fear-based aggression. He was afraid of everything, which was the problem. And we did a lot of the e-collar training, which did work, but we weren't a fan of it.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid going that route again or anything, so.
That's understandable, especially for those kind of behaviors, because I work with a lot of like anxiety pups and fear-based reactions. Usually what I do is just get them used to what they're afraid of, as opposed to punishing them for being afraid.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's good because the collar training method is good because it's really good at treating the symptoms, and it's really effective because it gives them a consequence for reacting a certain way. The way that we like to train, it's a little bit harder because it's furthering their personal development, right? Instead of telling her not to go up to a person and jumping, you know, showing her that we want her to stay by us and sitting and building her own self-discipline instead of just shocking her when she pops up. You know, it's different.
Definitely part of the thing, because like, you know, we with my in-laws, they're 70s, you know, like they can't quite grasp, you know, that kind of stuff. So we need her to be more disciplined on her own.
What we'll try to do is when we get together, hopefully they can join us too, is run through exercises so that way the commands will be a little bit more consistent throughout the family, so it'll be easier for her and everybody kind of knows what to do, so that way she knows to do it, right? Because it's always one thing for me to be able to get a pup to do something, and sometimes it's another thing for like a family member, whether it be a little kid or an older person to do it. You know, the goal is for her to get to that training point, but it just depends on, you know, on the time and what she needs to work through. Luckily, it just seems pretty much like overexcitement.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. Like all the fighting and everything. I mean, she's just like always happy. She's always happy. So
it's a good problem for you guys to have this time around. Now the thing is, you want to do your best to preserve that. You know, a lot of times we end up almost like crushing their spirits because we discipline them or yell at them too hard for doing something, as opposed to showing them what we'd like to do instead and giving them heavier praises for that.
Exactly.
It's just a lot of times easier for people to say no than yes. Also want to see if they recognize leash pressure. They just kind of keep pulling into whatever they want.
Doing really well for being on leash. You know, the last couple times it's always been like kind of like chewing on it and trying to get off of it. And it might just be because like, you know, there's lots of leash here.
Yeah. It also helps too that the leash is further on her back. A lot of times when it's like in front of their face, they'll want to pull on it more, or they'll want to try to bite at it because they understand that it's what's holding them back. I don't think we'll have any intact nails, but we'll see. She'll have a new boarding mate towards the end of the stay, I think. Her other friend Darby is going to be here for another week with her, so that will be good. Darby will definitely appreciate a good friend to have. She's been playing with my older pups. Most of the time it works out well, but sometimes they're tired and they can't keep up. Taking her to the dog park in Fredericksburg, and that's been helping. Last week was rough because of the rain. It'll be kind of finding a good balance of building her discipline and then finding ways of positive ways of getting out that energy. Some easy ways for you guys. Not everybody has time to play with pups, even though we always want to when we get them. Right? And right there, all we're doing is avoiding the issue by holding her far enough away. She doesn't have any kind of self-control or ability to redirect on her own there. So it's just definitely a lot of puppy impulse control. Good girl. Good job. Sit. 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 Kind of. Sit. Good. There you go. Trying to think. Is there any other questions or any other kind of behaviors you wanted to show me during the evaluation? Good girl.
3 months.
That'll be fine. Like I said, she and Darby will make it good playmates. Thank you. She's gonna go with you. Yes, good girl.
Good puppy, like you said, just really excited.
Try to find as many positive ways to get that outlet for you and build that basic obedience in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, she's not very good at fetch yet, but all right.
Good girl, good sit.
So we got a big hill in front of her house, and she'll grab the ball, run up the hill, drop it, and chase back down after it. So
right.
She's pretty good at self-entertaining.
Is that a friend? Good girl. Okay.
I got all her food and stuff.
Okay. Do you need anything from the pet store?
I don't think so. We just made a trip there yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Get a new name tag.
Yeah. Trying to think if I should pick up some more toys now or later. I might get her settled in and then pick up some more toys, make a separate trip out later.
The only thing she seems to have a affinity for more than anything else is the ball.
Oh, perfect.
So
You got plenty of those.
Squeaky one that she likes.
Okay. You can go ahead and keep it for home. I got a bunch. That way it doesn't get destroyed from my other pups or anything like that.
Whatever.
I got a few. So that'll be good. So she likes the ball, but doesn't know fetch yet.
Yeah, and the other thing we got that like really entertains her is there's like it's like a feeding kind of toy that's like got a bunch of like kibble in it, and the more she plays around with it, the more comes out.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very food mode.
Alright, so that'll be perfect. We'll do some if you wanna go ahead and follow me. I know I live in the townhouses right behind here. That way we can drop off her stuff and we can introduce her to her boarding mate before you head out again. The black Hyundai, the second to last car there. Where'd you park? Okay, what I'll do is I'll pull out and I'll go this way so that way you can follow me from behind. So wanted to go somewhere a little bit safer. There's also the field there, but this is a pretty quiet road. Again, good job. And kind of test out, because she doesn't have her name down very well, she's very excitable and she can be scared, just how much of a flight risk she is. Some pups, especially at her age, they still kind of have that maternal bond, where they'll kind of check in and want to be near you and hang out with you all the time. Sometimes that translates well to the outside world, sometimes it doesn't, you know, depending on the breed of the pup. You know, they might get caught up with their nose and just want to go explore and completely forget about us. So that's all we're kind of just testing here, is we're just going to kind of walk around, see if she just checks in on her own and follows us, or if she kind of finds a trail and starts leading off.
Got 13 acres and she's got 3 row of,
Huh?
and she just goes out and comes back.
Oh, okay.
I think as long as she's got that association with all this ground sitting,
Right.
where it's from, she'll only happy to eventually come back.
So not too much of a flight risk. Maybe if like we
She
lose
will
her in like
chase
the
things
city or
for
something
sure,
too.
like a squirrel or a deer.
Okay.
She will take off after that. But,
Got it.
you know,
Gotcha.
she's always come back. So.
Okay. This is something we worked on a lot with the other pup. Go ahead and try to call her name from here.
Sammy.
Good. I'm gonna offer her an exchange here.
Oh, there you go.
Found a little bouncy ball from the kids. There you go.
Probably shouldn't chew that. Huh?
Good. There you go. Good job. All right. Because we want to try to really make life as easy as possible. A lot of it is just repetition and practice, and also expectations. And I'll show you here coming up with Darby, because a lot of times we get caught up in constantly having to kind of, especially with puppies, micromanage them. Whereas if they learn to do things kind of more so on routine or on expectations from like past experiences, then that helps with not only their development, because they're thinking about what they should and shouldn't be doing, as opposed to just waiting for us to give them a command to execute. Try our best to kind of set those standards for. Sometimes that's really easy, but it can be hard without some sort of consequence towards the end. Just to help, like I said, to speed things up. Because if she jumps up and we wait for her to get down and we give her praise, that's good. But especially with jumping behavior, we need to do it preemptively. So she needs to know when she's about to come up to somebody. That's when we might need to give her the command at first until she gets conditioned, you know, to sit or whatnot. But it'll be kind of on everybody at home to kind of keep up certain things too, like, you know, not giving them attention until all four paws are on the ground, things like that, just to help kind of continue to build those habits. What do you think? Good thing is she's a little responsive to her name, a little responsive to the leash, so good starts on everything.
When she wants to be.
Right, if she's not too distracted or too excited meeting somebody. Sammy. Yes, very good. Good job. Sit. Right. Almost. Let's try again. Sit. Very good. There you go. Okay. Should be okay. Go ahead and put her normal leash back on. We'll do the introductions with her boarding mate. We'll do the so you'll kind of see what I mean with Darby, because she's been here almost 2 weeks now and she's in the 3 weeks, so we really want to see when she sees another dog or another person, you know, how much help that she actually needs and how much can she do on her own. Yeah. If she pays attention to you and looks up to you, go ahead and ask her to sit for a treat, and then just keep the treat nice and low, so that way she doesn't jump up for it or anything. And that's pretty much it. Well, I'll have to try to find another smaller vest for her as well, because especially when we're out in public and they're cute puppies, sometimes we need the extra time that, like, visually you'll get to see that you know, people will be like, oh, they're training, let me ask them to pet. So go ahead and wait there for a minute. Right, very excited. Good, there you go. And you can give her that treat if you need to. I can always give you another one. Girl. Thank you. So especially when it comes to puppies and that excitement, sometimes, like I said, instead of just giving them a command right away, giving them that time that they need to give up, look to us to see what we should be doing or respond appropriately, and then we get to release them to see what they want to do. You know, it's definitely easier giving a prompt. Thank you. Wait. Wait. And then when she's wait. Good. Then when she's waiting on her own. Okay. So all I did was help her by giving her some time to settle down, even though she was excited and focused. Rewarded her for focusing back onto me and the training. And then when she waited, as opposed to just running up to them, needed a little bit of help there, but I just rewarded her by allowing her to go and see somebody. And hopefully that's what it'll look like for you guys. I know. Good girl. She's been pretty good about being gentle with the little ones at the dog park too, so I think she'll be okay. She definitely plays very rambunctious though. It'll be good for the little one.
We had originally adopted 2, but we had to return the other one.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because he was a little bit bigger and older, and they got along great. But she would play so rough with the other one that the other one would like pin him to the floor and like, you know, get a little too rough with her. But then she got really upset with our toddler, and we're like, yeah, they can't really fly.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with babies. Sometimes, you know, they get along, and sometimes it's a lot more dangerous to work on than anything else.
Yeah.
Darby. Darby. Come. Sit. Wait. Very good. There you go. Sit. Okay. Oh, wait. So go ahead and try to get her to sit first.
Sit.
And then you can release her to reward ours play. Right? So get her attention first.
Sammy.
There you go. Now give her the command.
Sit.
Right?
Sit.
So make sure you have her attention before giving the command. Like, Darby. Here.
Sammy.
Good, right?
Sammy.
Good. Now,
Sit.
while you have, there you go. Now do a gesture to sit. Now notice how she's at least looking at you, right? Almost. It's okay, we'll work on it. Alright. Wait. 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 I know. Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Sammy.
Go ahead. Okay, wait again. Wait. Good. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
My other ladies are good with little pups too. I'll introduce and evaluate the rest of them and record separately for you guys. Just because they are very people shy. Great with dogs, terrible with people. Oh. I should give you the orange leash back so they can play for a bit.
We'll have plenty of time to play.
It's true. We can get them settled in here. I don't have the other section until 5, so that'll give them plenty of time to get acquainted with one another, get get settled in and probably get in a session or two each for each one before I head out. Hi. Oh. Oof. Get her. Hi. All right. Do you have any questions or anything else?
No.
All right.
You explained everything pretty well, and I think we're very much alike your philosophy on training stuff.
I feel like corrections have their place, but only after like you take the time to teach them. You know? There's a lot of times with puppies, they haven't really gotten that concept down yet because they're kind of just more so trying to get over their excitement so they can even listen to anything.
Yeah.
You're like taking the kids to Disney World and trying to get them to pay attention to you and do homework as soon as you enter the park. Maybe after a few rides at like lunchtime, you can get them to settle in and listen to you, but right off the bat, you know, it's gonna be really hard. Okay, you two. Oh, we'll get to play more later. Darby. Darby. Yes, good girl.
Sammy. Sammy.
There you go, good. I know. Good. we'll make. You'll get to play more. I know. Come. Good. Yep. Good. Here, I'll just walk both of them back, and then I'll just come back for the car. Because I think they'll be just fine at home running around.
Not too busy playing.
Yeah. Here, I'll get this uploaded for you. What do you think of it? Girl, get you. Yeah, Lila here will warm up and play sometimes, but she usually just likes for personal space. So she'll be great for correcting the pup when they're too much. At least with her. Good girl. Good girl. Well, you really had to do that. Huh? Oh, sorry. Eval. Good girl. Sammy. Sammy. Good. Good girl. Oh, hi. How are you doing over there? Good. Good. Sit. There you go. Good job. All right. Good girl. So Fiona here is slightly more likely to play with her. She's good about being gentle with the little ones. She can be really loud when she plays just from her size. So sometimes it ends up startling them, but they usually get used to it, kind of like Darby did. Sammy. Good. Good girl. Come. Sit. Good. Sit. There you go. Good job. Good. Come on, baby. What do you think, Fiona? Fiona is generally more patient, but she's also really good at giving corrections. Usually when she does, dogs tend to listen. Got a couple pups behind the fence there. Fiona, good girl, come. Sammy. Good girl. gonna do a short little video clip for the exercises we're gonna be going over initially for her while we're out here on the evaluation walk. Yes, good girl. I have her right now on the longer lead. Use some leash pressure here to keep her from going into the street, but mostly because I want to be able to get her response with the name before we run out of leash. We don't want the leash pressure to be triggering her attention. Using a little bit of it just to keep her relatively close by though. Getting distracted by everything in the outside world. So what we've been doing inside before coming out is just practicing her name. And what I like to do is kind of this reverse, where we get her attention first, we let her lose it. Sammy. Yes, good girl. And then we recover her attention with her name. Good girl. Yes. Sammy. Yes, good. There you go. Good. So I'm just using a treat in front of her nose to get her attention, having it up by my face to get her to refocus back up onto me. Good girl. We're walking a little bit, waiting for her to get distracted, and when she does, Sammy. Yes, good girl. Good job. I make that one sound being her name and then reward her as soon as she turns around. Keep practicing this a little bit. One more time. Okay. Sammy. Yes, good girl. Very good. Very good. Up here. Good girl. So now that she's paying attention to me on her own, I just let her know that I have a treat. And we remind her of how to get it just by getting her attention back with her name. Sammy. Yes, good girl. Very good. And whenever I think she might be getting the hang of it, I'm just going to walk without getting her attention first. She's doing a really good job of checking back in now. And then when she gets a little bit of distance, oh, almost. Girl. Then when she gets a little bit of distance, I'll call her name back. Sammy. Yes, very good. Good girl. And now we're just gonna do a walk around the neighborhood like that. So far, so good though. Do one more for the end of the video. Let her go before she gets to the end of the leash. Sammy. Yes, good girl. That was really good because there's actually a person with a pup coming on the other side as well. Good job. All right. It's pretty dark out, unfortunately, but we're going to be working on this one getting excited and meeting another pup. This guy's name's Chidi, and he's working on the same thing, so we thought we'd take the opportunity to work together. Oh, you got some runners behind you. Good girl. Very good, thank you. So there, instead of prompting her to get down and sit, I just wait for her to do the correct thing. The next time she turns to me though, I'll probably prompt early to help prevent her from jumping. Okay. Down. Almost. Very good, good girl. Good boy. And we'll keep on working our way forward. Giving a little break, Sammy. Sit. Good girl. Good. Sit. Very good. So where's his focus at, right? There you go. And that will most of the time help you to determine early if he's gonna, break and start pulling or not, is whether he's focused on the dog or if he's focused up on you. Good girl, Sammy. Sit. Good. Very good. Almost. Good girl. Good weight. Good girl. Oh, you're all tangled up now. You're all tangled up now. There you go. And I'll send you a link to the video as well, so that way you'll be able to watch him too. Sammy, sit. Sit. Good girl. So you kind of see the timing that we're talking about there, because as soon as we got her attention and she came up for the treat, she started jumping, but then she sat down. Good girl. Very good. Now, whenever you're ready, just let me know and I'll come to you. All right. There you go. Good. And then we'll reward his patience. She's a little skittish, but she's very friendly. It's okay, boo boo. She's only 3 months old.
I know, but you have to wait. You have to wait till she comes to you. You're getting so crazy. Come here. Look, Chidi. Chidi, look. Wait for her. Wait. You wait. This is hard for him because he is so boisterous. Yeah, the other dog gets like sick.
It's good practice. Yeah, it's good practice for him though. So we'll let him settle down again. And sometimes what'll help too is, instead of standing still, adding movement. So go ahead and kind of follow us too, but if he starts pulling, just stop. And I'll be in front so that way he gets used to her presence, kind of like with meeting a stranger.
Okay.
Because sometimes the discipline of sitting in the same spot is really good, but sometimes be really hard, especially for puppies.
Okay.
Whereas if you can kind of let some of that energy out by just walking them around, and also when you're walking them around, they kind of tend to get distracted by like the different smells too.
Okay.
So that can help as well.
Okay.
So we're just going to try to slowly walk, and you can kind of catch up from behind. And what might help her too is the opposite. Like, we'll turn around and we'll follow you and close the distance. But you can close in on us first. What do you think, Sammy? That's a big puppy, huh? Sammy. Good girl. Good girl. You're okay. Who's that big puppy? He's just a big puppy like you. There you go. See, she's a little bit interested. Then we'll just keep walking again. Good girl. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll turn around and we'll follow you. There you go. And you can kind of see what I mean by that pressure talking we were talking about, because the more that he got close to her, she needed to back up, and then as soon as he kind of turned around and started walking away, she was a little bit more, okay to or investigate, kind of curious. Good girl. There you go. Very good. There you go. Good. It's okay. Good girl. Yeah, you're a shy one, huh? Good girl. And what can help on top of that too is that positive association, like bridge building we're talking about. So if it takes her too long or she can't get used to him on her own, bringing out her friend that she's already used to, letting her see that, you know, they're having fun and playing, and she'll probably just join in, right? And then that way it also keeps the pressure off of her. Good girl. It's okay. Oh, very good. There you go. Yeah, he's doing great.
Can you give me 10? Oh, that's a good 10. Oh, yes, Chidi, that's a good 10. Can we shake?
Good job. Good girl, Sammy. What do you think, huh? See, he's okay. He's just a big guy. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. There you go. Good. Very good. And this is really good practice for him too, because we're really like stretching out that, you know, that meeting time.
Very good. Very good.
It's both good and bad because like most of the time it's that initial intensity that we're going to have to deal with. But at least he's getting some prolonged practice too. And got some little ones coming this way. Good girl. Hi. Oh, they have a pup too. Perfect. Who's that? Huh? Who's that, Sammy? Good girl.
Yes, good job, Chidi. Good job.
Very good. Oh, we got another pup coming.
Yes.
Now it's a party. Oh, she's slowly starting to get confident. Good girl. Hey, how you guys doing?
I know, that's your girlfriend right there.
Oh, she's pretty, bud.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're very distracted.
Good boy.
Good job. Good girl.
That's so big. Yeah, she's a sweet girl.
Oh, yeah, you got plenty of people to practice with. This is great. There you go. She's thinking about it. Thinking about it. She's almost there. Good girl. So you kind of see what I mean? She's slowly building up that confidence to try and smell them. Good job.
Yes, okay.
Good job.
Good boy.
Good job, big guy.
Good job. You're being very good. Good boy. Yes.
It's okay, boo boo. Yeah, see, you're okay. There you go.
I know.
He's not gonna hurt you. He's a sweet guy. See, come. She's like, let me chew her. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy, big guy.
Wow. This is like the best you've done.
You're okay. She just got startled.
You tried. You tried. You know, did as long as you could.
Good job. That was great. All right. What I'll do is I'll pause the camera and I'll go ahead. Good girl, Darby. Very good. There you go. Good. There you go. See, she'll come to you. You don't have to pull mom to her.
Good job. You did great.
See, what do you think, Sammy? Sammy's like, I don't know. Oh, you say you have a fenced-in backyard? That might be perfect. Come on, Sammy. Good girl. Sorry, I'll let you go first. Where's your other friend? There you go. Look at her.
So she's, what is, she's like a chocolate lab?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a 7-month-old chocolate lab. Oh, you want to come out too? You can come out. Oh.
Chidi, you have to give her some space, honey.
Here, this way.
Ouch.
This way.
Good job.
Come on up.
Good job.
This way.
Chidi.
There you go.
No, Chidi. Chidi.
He'll be okay. There you go.
There we go.
It's one of those times where, like, if we baby her too much, it will kind of give the wrong impression like there is a threat. Whereas if we just let him go and she gets to that point, right? Now she sees that there's nothing to like worry about or run from, things like that. So it's kind of the opposite of what we did of that example, right? It's like when the stranger comes up to you and gives you a big hug, you're like, hey, I was that guy in high school, and you're like, oh, right? So he kind of forced her to relax.
And he's pretty, and like they tell
Yeah,
me
he's
he's
fine.
really good. But I just worry because he's so
Big,
and
yeah.
she's like so petite.
There you
But
go.
I have a friend that's
Girl.
a pug, and he does this to her too.
Yeah.
Good girl. Good girl.
There you go.
Yes, good job. Good job, guys. Yeah.
Oh, good girl.
Yes.
And for Darby, when she gets excited, she'll jump up too. So the same thing as with him. When she approaches you, just preemptively ask her to sit. And that'll help to alleviate that problem. There you go.
Yeah,
Not
good
bad.
job, guys.
Good boy, see it?
Yes.
Good sit. Darby. Good sit, thank you. See if we can get Sammy to sit. Oh, she's gone. There you go. She's fine. Good girl. Here you go. Good job. Can actually see you a little bit now. GoPros are great because they're super durable, but you'll see in the video in low light you can barely see anything, unfortunately. Good girl. There you go. Oh, you're making a friend. There you go. There you go. Now she's smelling him. Oh, she found something.
They're phones.
Bones. That's fine. Good girl. Yeah. Oh. There you go. There you go. She threw in a little sniff there of her own. That's good.
Oh, there she goes. Now she's like all funky.
Yeah.
Keep away.
Good girl. Sammy.
Girl.
Oh, you see the treats. Good job.
Girl, good sit.
Very good. Good girl. She's like, you got more? Darby also likes playing keep away too, so she'll do that with balls at the dog park.
yeah.
She loves being chased.
And that's
Very good.
He likes that too. He likes to be chased, and he'll grab our stuff and run with it.
That could be a fun or not fun game.
Right.
She's doing great. There you
Good
go.
job. Good girl.
It's hard because, especially with dogs, we have to try to find ways of showing them that situations are okay when they're uncomfortable. Because we're very verbal and oratory like beings. We need to just tell one another that something's okay. It's a lot harder to communicate with dogs that.
There you go. Good, good, Chidi. Nice and gentle.
There you go. Good job. Oh, look at that play bow. There you go. There we go.
Nice.
Perfect.
You guys are great.
Good girl.
Good girl. Get him. Get him. Get him.
She's getting a lot done for her first little half day here. He did great today too.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Well, what we'll do for the next session is probably the same thing, but hopefully walk around downtown, meet
Okay.
some other dogs, and kind of show you how to make space to or redirect when you don't have as much time or the other person helping you out.
Right.
Yeah, you tell him. You tell him. Yeah, there you go.
Get it.
Yeah, there you go. Go get him.
Get him.
Good girl.
He's big. You're tougher than that.
Oh. Good girl. She's okay. She gives out the little yelps and she's not even getting any contact in. It's more like a overwhelmed or unsure kind of yelps. Yeah. Good girl. Oh, hi Darby. Thank you. It's nice to see you again. Hi Chidi. Perfect. Good job. And this is a good exercise to do at the dog park too when they're already running around and playing, because then you're starting to work again with that excitement and getting him to be able to stop, calm down, or come back. It's very good practice. And we can do that sometime when the weather's nice as well. Very good. There you go. Good girl. Darby.
I know, Darby, you can say. Good girl.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you got your bone back, Chidi.
So cute.
Good. There you go. Very good. Good job, guys. Do you have any questions or anything before I stop the recording?
And stuff that you just don't, I don't think of it, you know, like I'm like, and it was what we did to them fighting before was, like we were doing timeout, but he was smaller, and now it's like, it just wasn't working anymore, so.
It's kind of the same concept of timeout, but it's sit, but shorter, right? So you're playing, he starts biting timeout, and then start playing again. Because what ends up happening, if like, and people do this too, if you like give them a very formal timeout or a break for too long, by the time that you come back, they forgot why they were even in there.
Yeah.
But if you kind of do it back to back while you're playing, start, stop, it's a little bit more. they went directly for the bag.
He's famous about that.
That's
like,
funny.
Into the bags, I always forget to close.
Darby, come, sit, good girl. But this way, because it's more back and forth, and it's a shorter time between.
Sit.
Good. There you go.
Chidi. She's trying to learn.
It's fine. He's like, nah, it's playtime. But because it's more back and forth, and the start and stop happens a lot more often with like the event, it's easier for them to sometimes connect the two things.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Oh, you want to play too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, she's like, I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta watch your knees around here too. He'll really take you out.
Aw, girl. Oh. Oh yeah? Oh.
Off. Off. Good. Good job.
She's like, okay, bye. Sammy, come. Sit. Good. So now when she comes to you, go ahead and preemptively ask her to sit.
Sit.
Almost. One more time. Oh, ah. She might need the gesture too, the hand gesture. That's why.
Good girl. Good girl, Sammy. Can you sit?
There you go. Good.
Oh, yeah. Good girl.
So we'll practice that again, and it'll kind of coincide with his practice with you with not jumping. As soon as they're approaching, give them something to do to break. Uh-oh. She hit your arm, bud? I think he might have hit his arm over there. You all right, big guy? Oh. Oh. What happened? Oh, we're down. Oh. He's like, Mom, my paw. Oh, you're okay, big guy. Oh. I heard some sort of smack, so I'm thinking he probably.
He must have hit that and knocked it over. That's what that was.
Poor guy.
Okay.
Huh? Well, seems like he'll live. All right.
I don't care. I'll play with it.
What were, oh yeah. So like, when he's coming up to you, try to break that train of thought and that excitement by giving him like, yeah. Come here, Sammy. Sit. Good girl. All right, I'll let you try with Sammy again too. Where's she go? There you go. She's got it.
Hi, Sammy.
Good.
Sit. Yes.
Perfect.
Good
there you
girl.
go. Good.
Good job.
And that's like the hardest part with behavior like jumping, is because 90% of the work is like preemptive. Because if we already are trying to get him off of us, then we're working on the behavior that we don't need to work on. You know, we're working on getting him down at that point. Whereas most of the time people actually need to work on that part beforehand.
Prevent him from jumping. Gotcha. Okay.
So try to keep that in mind. So hopefully that'll help with him as well.
Okay.
I know, you want to play with them too. Sit. Good girl. Good sit. Good job.
I had a problem before we started daycare, and then when we started daycare, that Jake got better.
There you go.
But yeah, so this is his first time back to daycare.
Oh.
So that there's less
As far as digging behaviors go, that's almost a lot of preemptive work too, like being out here as soon as he starts and then redirecting him or correcting him, and then also having denser things either covering that spot, because once they start digging in a spot, they'll almost want to always continue there because it's already kind of broken ground. So maybe covering it with some rocks or something in the meantime while he's kind of getting over it will help. Because dogs will only dig and chew and push things when there's give. That's why you never see them digging on like concrete. Because he found out that, you know, if he starts working at this, he can keep working on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make that little area back there, like, I'm gonna make that more of a sandbox for him, so that he, like, that's your designated place to dig.
There you go.
And so that's what I'm trying to do. But now that it's cold,
giving him that positive outlet for it. Good girl, sit. Oh.
Good sit. She's like, I've been sitting.
Sit. Good job. Good sit.
Yeah.
Oh, good boy.